The sun had barely risen over the quiet streets of Cleveland, Ohio, yet Marissa Bennett's tiny apartment already hummed with the struggles of a morning that promised nothing but hardship. Her hands trembled as she counted the few crumpled bills in her wallet, each one a reminder of how impossible it seemed to provide even the smallest joy for her daughter's birthday. She stared down at her little girl, Ava, who sat cross-legged on the floor, eyes sparkling with innocence, and whispered the words she feared the most, "I can't afford a Barbie for your birthday." Ava's face fell, her lips quivering as she tried to hide the disappointment, but Marissa saw it anyway, the way her daughter's eyes dimmed for a fraction of a second. That tiny heartbreak pierced Marissa's chest worse than any financial worry ever could. She had promised herself she would give Ava a happy childhood, one free from the bitterness of poverty, yet here she was, standing helpless, wishing the world could bend to her daughter's joy. Before continuing, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the small miracles that can change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support can bring more stories like this to light. Marissa's life had never been easy. Widowed at 28, raising Ava alone, she juggled 2 jobs, a cashier at a local grocery store during the day and a waitress in a diner at night. Sleep was a luxury she couldn't afford, and yet, every night she crawled into her small bed with a heart full of hope that tomorrow would be better. Her apartment was modest, the walls fading beige, the carpet worn thin, but it was home. It was home because Ava lived there, and Ava's laughter was the only music that made Marissa's struggles feel bearable. Ava had been talking about her birthday for weeks, eyes lighting up every time she mentioned the Barbie doll she dreamed of owning. She described it with a passion only a 6-year-old could muster, from its sparkling dress to the miniature accessories that came with it. Marissa's chest ached with every detail because she knew she couldn't give her that joy. Not this year. Not with the bills piling up like storm clouds around them. As she finished her morning chores, Marissa decided she had to at least try. She scoured the internet, checked local stores, even considered asking for help from friends she barely had. But nothing fit her budget. The doll's price was a cruel reminder of the life she could not yet give her daughter. Sighing, she stuffed the tiny bills back into her wallet and prepared Ava's breakfast, hiding her own despair behind a forced smile. Later that afternoon, Marissa took Ava to the park, hoping the sunshine could at least distract her. Ava played with other children, her giggles echoing in the crisp air, while Marissa sat on a bench, her eyes fixed on the worn bills in her wallet. It was then she noticed a man watching them from across the park, a man in a tailored suit, dark glasses, exuding an air of confidence that only wealth could buy. His gaze lingered on Ava, and then, unexpectedly, he walked toward them. "Hello," he said, voice smooth and kind. "I couldn't help but notice your daughter playing. She seems very happy." Marissa's hands tightened around her purse, unsure of his intentions. "I'm Ethan Caldwell," he continued, holding out a hand. "I run a local charity program for children's birthdays." Marissa blinked, suspicion warring with hope. Could this be real? Could someone, anyone, actually care enough to help? I don't need help," she murmured, ashamed. "I can manage." Ethan smiled, though his eyes were sharp, understanding the truth behind her words. "Sometimes managing is not enough. Sometimes children deserve more than we can give, no matter how hard we try." He knelt slightly to meet Ava's gaze. "Would you like to show me your birthday wish?" Ava's eyes widened. She clutched Marissa's hand and whispered the name of the Barbie she longed for. Marissa's heart sank, yet Ethan's reaction was unexpected. He nodded, almost reverently. "That's a wonderful choice," he said, reaching into his briefcase and pulling out a neatly wrapped box. Marissa's jaw dropped. "Your daughter's birthday is coming up, and I'd like to make it special," Ethan said gently. "Consider this a gift, from someone who believes every child deserves to see their dreams, no matter the circumstances." Marissa's hands shook as she accepted the box, her eyes filling with tears. She could not comprehend the generosity, the kindness of a stranger who seemed to appear just when hope felt impossible. Ava tore the wrapping with innocent excitement, her squeals of joy cutting through the tension that had weighed on Marissa for weeks. The Barbie she had imagined for so long now stood in her tiny hands, real and dazzling, and for a moment, the world felt right again. That evening, Marissa sat in her kitchen, holding the now empty box with trembling hands. She could not stop thinking about Ethan, about the unearned kindness he had shown. It was more than a gift, it was a reminder that goodness existed even in a world that often felt cruel. Tears streamed down her cheeks, not just for the doll, but for the realization that life could surprise you in the most beautiful ways. The following days changed everything for Marissa. Ethan kept in touch, offering guidance and support, connecting her to local programs that could help with bills, and even helping her enroll Ava in extracurricular activities she had never dreamed of affording. For the first time in years, Marissa felt a sense of relief that was not fleeting, a steady hope that perhaps she and her daughter could finally breathe a little easier. Yet it wasn't the financial help alone that moved her. It was the lesson that kindness, no matter how small or unexpected, could ripple through a life in ways impossible to measure. Ava learned it too, hugging Marissa tighter than usual, whispering a thank you that carried more love than words could ever hold. Marissa knew that her daughter would grow up believing in miracles, in generosity, in the beauty of human connection. Months later, Marissa reflected on that day in the park, the day a stranger had given her child a gift that money alone could never buy, a sense of wonder, joy, and validation that her dreams mattered. She often wondered why she had been chosen, why Ethan had appeared at that precise moment. She realized that life sometimes placed angels in unexpected forms, reminding you that despair does not have the final say. And as Ava danced around the apartment, the Barbie's dress twirling in the sunlight that streamed through the window, Marissa felt an unshakable gratitude. She knew she would pass this lesson to her daughter, that generosity and compassion were forces capable of changing lives. Her heart, once heavy with the impossibility of her circumstances, now felt light with hope and connection. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even in the darkest moments miracles can happen, please engage with this video. Comment below about a time someone's kindness changed your life. Like, share, and subscribe. Your story could inspire someone else today. Before you leave, comment miracles exist if this story made you believe in hope and second chances. Marissa and Ava's journey is a testament to the fact that no matter how dire the situation may seem, kindness has a way of finding its path, turning heartbreak into joy, poverty into abundance, and strangers into angels in disguise.